I am a cat. Meow, meow. I'm not a woman dressed as a cat. I am a cat. By show of hands, I'm curious, how many of you believe and confess that I'm a cat? Great. By show of hands, I'm curious, how many of you believe that your child or a child from this school would believe that I'm actually a cat? No one. You are right. Truth prevails over imagination. Reality exists. Discernment is innate and something we are biologically wired to have. One look at me and you know this to be true. I am a woman posing as a cat.
Lindsey Graham, the cat lady herself and host of the Patriot Barbie podcast, joins me now. So, Lindsey, what was actually happening at this school district that made you have to dress up as a cat to prove your point?
Well, first of all, Jesse, I'd like you to not misspecies me. I'd like to be addressed as a cat for the entirety of this video, of course.
Of course.
So
I apologize.
This was in my... Thank you. Just inclusivity is all I ask, you know. This was a local school in my neighborhood where there was a member of the school board whose name is Paul Bixler. He is a man. He's very clearly a man. And the only thing he does to identify as a female is put lipstick on. He grew his hair out a little bit, and he wears his deceased wife's clothing to school, to sporting events, to fundraisers, to school events in front of the children. And believe it or not, he actually demands on being identified one of two ways, either Paul, which is a man's name, of course, or Miss Bixler. So it's very clear that he has a gender identity crisis. And not only does he appear in front of the children and insist that the children, you know, define him as a woman, but he sits on the board and he's making decisions for these children. And the point that I was trying to make as a cat was that, I mean, obviously, you can't just identify as whatever you want, and you can't demand that other people identify you as whatever you want. But someone with this kind of mental illness can enjoy that mental illness all they want in the comfort of their own home. But when you put them in charge of children, we're talking about a new type of indoctrination. And that's what's really terrifying, is seeing these people in charge of our kids' education.
It feels so outrageous that a grown woman has to dress up as a cat to prove a point at a school board meeting, but I guess that's where we've come to in this country, and I absolutely love the fact that she did it. She's beating the liberals at their own game. She is showing just how absolutely insane and ludicrous their policies that they are forcing on children are. If we are just going to continue to allow the left to ignore reality and all biological truth, well, we're going to live in a world, in a country where anyone can identify as anything that they want. And that is a very slippery slope on the way to a liberal utopia that does not exist. So I applaud this woman for doing what she did. More of us should have the courage to stand up aggressively and speak out against the left's lunacy, or it will continue to reign.